All right, it's 6:30. It's time to call this meeting to order. It is Monday, April 15th. Let's start this evening with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. This is a meeting of the school board for the purpose of conducting the school corporation's business. It is not to be considered a public meeting. Public comments are limited to items on the agenda. There will be time for public participation as indicated by agenda item number 5. The board receives agenda items, information, and rationale for administrative recommendations for their thorough review before each meeting. We have no media present tonight, so we will go ahead and recognize. I'm sorry. Thank you. Ethan from Wayne 15 is here. Thank you. We have Students of the Month. Let's go ahead and start with those. Addison Holbrook is our Whitko Senior High School Student of the Month, nominated by the Junior Senior High front office staff.
Okay, it is my absolute pleasure to talk about Addison, and her sister also wanted to say a comment about her, so we're going to let her start first.
My sister is so nice.
And that's what she's like at our junior senior high school too. So Addison in the hallway, when we see her, she has nothing but a smile, and she calls me Miss Heavens, which I love. And when she says that, we get to talk at lunch. We get to see each other in the classroom, and when the office staff said, hey, we want to nominate somebody, out of all the students in the school, they chose Addison. So we're just so glad to have her, and sounds like she does a great job at home as well. So congratulations.
Congratulations, Addison. The Junior High Student of the Month is Chloe Keene, nominated by Mr. Mike Handback.
Well, you can see Chloe's not here, and there's a reason for that. The reason I nominated Chloe is the same reason I nominate most of the kids that I have done over the past few years, and that's because, to put one thing, I guess the easiest way to say it, they're driven. They're driven to be good academically. They're driven to be great members of our community, the school community, the community they live. They're driven to be good athletes. They're driven to be good friends. And that's what Chloe's doing tonight. She is an athlete. She's a softball player. She's on the junior high softball team, and they have a game tonight. So that's where she's at. But again, this whole drive that she has and is reflected by anybody else that I truly believe is ever nominated to be a Student of the Month, I'm just going to say I think it probably starts at home. So for Chloe and everybody else from Pearston, South Whitley, WCA, the high school, every place, thank you, parents. We appreciate it lots.
Our congratulations to Chloe. From Whitko Career Academy, nominated by Angie Irwin, is Ryan Rose.
Hi there, Mrs. Irwin couldn't be here this evening. Ryan is in her early childhood education class. She says that Ryan always comes prepared to class. He's eager to learn about the teaching profession, always participates in class discussions, and has great insight about his experience in his host classroom. His peers look up to him and are encouraged and motivated because of Ryan's dedication and professionalism in the classroom and in his host classroom. She enjoys having Ryan in class. Should Ryan choose to pursue an education degree, he will make an excellent teacher. Ryan Rose.
Our congratulations to Ryan. From South Whitley Elementary, nominated by Angie Tranter, is Kylie Contreras.
I hate
to stand with my back to you, so I'm going to stand this way. Yeah. Hi, so I'm Angie Tranter, and I nominated Kylie Contreras. She's not here tonight, but Kylie is a first grade girl who comes to school each day with a smile and gets ready for the day quickly. She is the first student to follow directions, she works quietly, and is always very helpful to others. She is growing in math and works hard to meet her power goals, which, if you know anything about our new reading curriculum, is big. Kylie deserves to be recognized as the South Whitley Elementary School Student of the Month.
Congratulations to Kylie. From Pearson Elementary, nominated by Samantha Pauls, is Caden Green.
Well, I'm not Mrs. Pavlov to do tonight, but I'm Mrs. Hopper, the Pearson Elementary principal. So this is what she had to say about Caden. He is very respectful and trustworthy. He continues to persevere and work hard on all lessons throughout the day. He's also dependable. She can depend on him to make right choices and to be respectful at all times. Congratulations, Caden.
And from the Early Learning Academy, we have Jackson Coy, nominated by Jillian Starkweather. Unfortunately, neither of them could be here this evening, but we did want to recognize little Jackson and his accomplishment. Jackson is here? Oh, great. Come on down, Jackson. Congratulations, Jackson. Next, we have headliners, which is great news from around the district. Just a few little things we want to highlight. We have a teacher that won a state award. We want to congratulate our own Mr. Hanback for recently winning the state award for excellence in environmental science from the Hoosier Association of Science Teachers. Mr. Hanback has called Whitko his home for nearly 31 years now. He is an indispensable part of the Whitko family, and we are proud of his accomplishment and appreciate his care and commitment to our students and to their education. Congratulations, Mr. Hanback. Whitko art students sweep the Lakes and Streams contest. Whitko's art students continue to excel under the leadership of Mr. Daniel Malicki. The 16th annual Kosciuszko County Lakes and Streams Student Art Contest has announced that 5 of the 6 awards given in the 11th and 12th and 9th and 10th grade categories went to Whitko art students. Those students are Madeline Daffern, Cassidy Skinner, Emma Morse, Elena Hanbaugh, and Hannah Moore. The theme for this year's contest was Memories at the Lake. The art is on display at the Alley in Warsaw and will also be made into greeting cards. We want to congratulate these students on their artistic achievements. We have another record-breaking streak happening here at Whitko. Our Gwen Howard's track and field record-breaking streak continues. She recently threw the discus 132 feet 5 inches and the shot put 45 feet 4 inches, setting new personal records and new school records in both events. Congratulations to Gwen. And finally, we have some wrestlers that have benefited from a fundraiser. On Friday, April the 12th, 2024, Whitko Junior Senior High School hosted a wrestling fundraiser for the Boys and Girls Whitko Wrestling Club. Thanks to generous donations by a couple of supporters, the wrestling club earned more than $700 for this event. These proceeds will go to funding summer camps for our Wildcat wrestlers. We want to thank those folks. At this time, any students of the month that would like to leave, you are welcome to do so.
Mrs. Donald?
Yes.
Can I add to the headline?
You sure can.
Athletic Director Barry and his wife Hillary. Both staff members here. Can you turn my mic up a little bit? Our Athletic Director Barry Singray and his wife Hillary Singray welcome their new baby girl, Emerson Joe, at 3:30 this morning. both mom and baby are doing well, so congratulations to them.
That's great.
That's why Barry's not here.
Okay, thank you. That's a good reason. We're going to move on into 3.0, which is reports. We're going to start with our principal and director reports, and tonight we're going to start with Jason Klein, our Director of Technology, and Mr. Pavarnik is going to join him.
So Jason, I'm going to kind of kick this off, and this is about Power School, and a very positive update for everyone to know is that, as you all know, we had issues going on here at Power School, and Power School servers have crashed and so forth. We've brought in a forensic specialist. The company name is OnTrack, and OnTrack worked tandemly with Winona IT. And Jason and I were informed just a little while ago, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we're confident to say that OnTrack has notified us that they have located and have identified our missing data from Power School, and will be pulling those files out shortly, either in one large file, or if they can't get it pulled out into a large file, they'll pull it out into individual files. We have a dedicated hard drive that we set up for them when they went into this deep dive to be able to upload from there so they could put it into that one dedicated space. And once it's all in there, and we're hoping the next, if not later on today, maybe tomorrow or so, it should all be in there. And then we can upload that back into Power School. So we will have all of our missing data, all of our missing grades, all of our reports, everything will be back in Power School, just as it was when it went down on March 17th and that server crashed. I know this is your time, Jason, but I'm going to let you get into some specifics in a second. But moving forward on that, we also, once that data is all extracted and saved and put back in the Power School, then there's two things that need to happen. We need to give our teachers, we need to manufacture some time for our teachers because they are behind, obviously, in putting in grades and assignments and stuff that they have not been able to put in the Power School because it's been down. And since it's been back up, we haven't put anything back into it until we're sure it's all protected, which it is now. And so I'm going to be working with the principals tomorrow. Some of them are hearing this for the first time because we just literally just got this update, and working on a hybrid schedule for our school for the next week or so to give some time for our teachers to get that data, all their grades and stuff, inputted into Power School to get us back to where we were when this went down. And then the question comes up is, what is the root cause of this? Why did it happen, and how do we make sure it doesn't happen again? So once the data is all pulled out and the OnTrack is done and the forensic people, which is OnTrack, are done and moved out, then Winona IT is going to do a deep discovery of all of our hard drives, all of our hardware, all of our servers, all of our IT mechanisms, and try to determine the root cause of it. I think the best term I've heard any of them use yet was, this is just one of those perfect storms that happens now and then, unfortunately. And it happened to us. And there's nobody's fault, it just happened. And so they're going to do a discovery on all of our systems, and they'll be making recommendations on updates and upgrades to make sure that this never happens again. So we're confident with Winona IT. They actually are the company that contract through Warsaw Community Schools. They handle all their servers and hard drives, and they are extremely proficient as well with Power School because of that. So with that, Jason, I'll hand off to you to get more in the technical part of all this.
You pretty well covered most of it. The individual server that we set up for them to be able to bring information in is hosted on our site, so none of our information, none of our data is actually leaving the corporation. It is being handled all locally. We have added the power backup and line stabilizing power supplies that we mentioned previously, and those are all up and running and in place. And yeah, I'm over the moon. That's all I can say.
Well, Jason, you're being humble. I just want everybody to know this man has worked practically 24/7 on this and has put a lot of time and effort into it. And I know you got to be exhausted, but I want to thank you for your hard work.
Thank you. I just want to be clear to reiterate that it looks like we're going to have all of our information recovered possibly as early as tomorrow. And that input will start then back into the system.
Yes, we're comfortable to say, according to the forensic on-track team, that they have located, identified our Power School data, all of our data, all the grades that were entered, assignments entered, any of the AP stuff, any of the collegiate stuff, all the reports, all of our SPED reports, all of our attendance, all of our discipline, everything that was there when it went down has been identified. Now, we don't have it's not physically in our server yet, in our hard drive, but they tell us that they've located that and we're in the process now of extracting that out to put into our hard drive.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Jason. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Jason. Moving on, from Pearson Elementary, we have Christy Hoppert.
We have a lot going on in May, so I'll just kind of do a quick rundown here. May 3rd, I hope there's not a conflict with ARC, but May 3rd we are sending out information about Grandparents' Day, and that's kind of an all-day thing, and they meet in gym and do rotations and activities with especially grandparents. On May the 8th, that's our next and I think our last PTO meeting for the year. That's from 6 to 7 in our library. We are iLearn testing up until May 10th, so we started ELA yesterday, and we're going to be plowing through math, science, and social studies, so it's about a 3-week gig, and then we're going to be going into NWEA, so that'll be opening up soon, and that's what we'll finish with this year for end-of-year data, and that'll be for language, English, ELA, and math. Quarter 4, we have our student awards, and so that's exciting to hear Power School's back up, so we'll be able to have our awards program here at the end. Again, that's on Tuesday the 28th from 8:30 to 11:30 in the gym. Ag Day, skipped over that, that's Friday, May 17th, so that would be for grades 3 and 5, so they're going to be traveling over to the Career Academy and experiencing that. May 30th is our 6th grade graduation in the morning. And that's in the gym. More details to come, but we're planning that out even as we speak. And then also we have a student council meeting that day after school, so that I believe that is their last one for the school year. They've done a lot for our building this year, lots of service projects, and that's been a really awesome club. I hope continues. As far as ARC, our next one is our virtual visit from Kate is on Wednesday, and we're going to be continuing looking at writing for argumentative and opinion pieces throughout the grade levels, and especially utilizing the writing lab notebooks. And our last main focus for collaboration, grade level collaboration meetings, will be focusing on growth targets and discussion, and really looking at any of the data that we have from ARC, from NWEA. Just iLearn's probably not going to be quite in yet, but just looking at setting goals for students going into the next year and sharing that information. So, and I believe that's all I have. Any questions? Alrighty.
Thank you, Mrs. Hopper.
Thank you.
From the Career Academy, Mr. Chris Benedict.
Good evening. Our work-based learning program, again, is highlighting at senior student, and that is this month for April, Kaylee Walls, and she is working at Sylvia's Daycare. Our juniors and seniors are going to be attending, again, the Kosciuszko County Fair, job fair coming up on Wednesday, April 17th. Our showcase day, again, is coming up on the 25th. We're preparing, all of our programs are preparing for that, getting their outlines ready, getting students ready to kind of go through that practice day to what that would look like. And then our ag department has a lot of things coming up. To 4/16, they have their FFA officer meeting or elections, and then on 4/20, they're at the North Miami Poultry Invitational. On May 2nd, they have their FFA banquet here at WCA. On 5/11, they have their state poultry and wep competition. On May 17th, she just alluded to our Whitko Ag Day here for elementary students. And then on the 18th, they have the state livestock. Our construction trades class is continuing their work on their home build. They've got a little bit of a break here, but the drywallers coming in and getting that drywall crew is getting stuff done. They got that done in about 2 days. So then our kids will be back at work at the home build and back on site. And then on May 10th, our middle school students and our criminal justice morning and afternoon students will participate in the law day at the junior senior high school.
I do have a question. The construction trades kids, what kind of things are they doing at that house?
They are doing a lot of the framing and finishing to begin with, putting all of that together with, and they are getting all the electrical parts in as well as any of the plumbing that will come in. They'll put those fixtures in. They are doing a lot of that day-to-day operation stuff that's going on there. The major, like any cement work, any masonry work, anything like that, and the drywall, they've contracted that out separately.
That's a great opportunity for those kids.
It is very much. Thank you.
This is all cold electric they're doing, right?
Yes, absolutely,
They're also
absolutely.
doing trim work.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
In our shop down here, we're cutting, pre-finishing, and installing all the baseboard and door trim systems.
Yep, they have a lot of appliances that are showing up. They have a lot of things that are showing up at the here, and they're getting them pushed out. Yep, absolutely.
Great.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. From Whitko Junior Senior High, Amy Evans.
Okay, I get to bring good news with our ARC assessment data. Mr. Pavarnik and I met with the ARC team, and what they presented to us is just amazing. What we like to focus as we look into next year, what resources do we need? We focus on what we call the emergency readers, so the ones that are way below grade level. They put together some data for us. So you can see from the first graph, our average ERLA score went up. Again, that's just average district-wide. So obviously we hope to see that keep improving. The next graph, at the end of October, they took a snapshot, and there were 273 K through 6th graders well below grade level. And they call those the emergency readers. So about 44% of our kids. So 273 students way below grade level. If you look at the next graph, it is broken down by grade level. And you can see there's a blue line that's expected growth. We are exceeding that. We are exceeding it not just by a little. As they said, we are knocking it out of the park right now. So you can look just again by grade level, and what that does is, if you look at 6th grade, a lot of those emergency readers are way above. So what are they doing right? What can we get other teachers doing like they are? So again, that blue line, we're way above it. The final chart, which I think is the most exciting. So out of those 273 students who were at emergency, 15% of them are now proficient readers. So 15% of that growth, going from well below grade average, out of those 15% are now proficient. And that, I think, goes to students like Kylie, who are enjoying the power goals, the teachers who have just said, hey, we're in this, we're gonna make it work, and they did. So it's just really exciting. They will prepare another report for us at the end of the year, which will include the junior high information as well. Are there any questions I can answer on this?
It's exciting.
It's exciting for our students. our staff, and I know a lot of parents have had their kids reading at home. The more kids read, they're going to keep growing. So it was definitely a community-wide effort.
Mrs. Evans, would you please give your copy of the ARC data to Ethan back there? So he has that. We had a very nice conversation in my office, and Ethan's agreed to come down here and partner with us, right? And he wants to say he's really excited to hear all the good things happening at Whitko. ARC, Ethan, is American Reading Company that we network, that we team up with for our reading. As you can hear, he's being very successful, and I wanted him to come down and take some time at some point, and he's agreed to do that. We're going to text each other and look at Whitko on everything that we're doing here and be a partner to kind of help us get our message out. So if you let him have that when you're done, that would be awesome. Is that okay, Ethan? We can take that? Okay, thank you.
I'm excited to see all the data when we look at this. And we know data is very quantitative, but the qualitative, so the stories that we're hearing, are just as amazing. And so it's a fantastic program. Any more questions with ARC?
Thank you.
I guess now I'll have to do my board report, which isn't as exciting. I need to correct the Monday, April 22nd academic team competition. It's actually tomorrow at Northridge. And the kids are very excited to go eat at Doss Essen House. So they have that going. We also have a blood drive tomorrow. We have a lot of open spots, so if anybody, again, wants to help save lives, we will take that. Saturday, April 20th, our band is traveling to Norwell. That includes our 8th graders, and listening to them now, they're incredible. So it's exciting to hear that. April 23rd, SAD is hosting the Operation Prom, which is a mock accident. So I wanted to tell the community, just be aware that there's going to be a lot of emergency vehicles at the high school right in front of our building. And again, the hope is that kids think about their decision from prom all the way through graduation. We will be running a 2-hour delay schedule that day. Students will be here all day, but the first 2 hours will be dedicated to that. Friday, April 26th is the South Whitley garage sale days, so as a reminder, we don't have a school that day. And then we have prom May 4th. And our AP testing starts the second week of May. Thank you.
Thank you. Our Director of Operations, Rhonda Snavely.
Good evening. I'm going to start with maintenance tonight. Just trying to get all the mowing done in between the rain. I hear it's supposed to start back up again tomorrow. I've been talking with Steve Elder at Greenworks to come in and do some lawn care to help eliminate some of our dandelions out here. Not here, but at all of our buildings. We are getting interviews set up to interview for our position of sub-custodian in our buildings and grounds. We have a custodian leaving, so it's going to take one of our subs away as well. So we'll be looking at that while we're talking to people to see where we can fit everybody in. In the transportation, we finished our bus inspection. Everything went great. All of our buses have passed inspection for a year unless they're 12 years or older. We have, I think, 3 that are on that 12-year or biweekly or biannually inspection. We did have to take one in to be re-inspected, but we've already taken care of that, and it has passed as well. We have one new driver, Rachel Brandenburg passed her skills test this past week. She's going to drive some trips and may be interested in subbing some PM routes. And if we hear a maybe, we kind of run with that. We have 4 or 5 drivers that are somewhere in the CDL process, which is awesome. We're hoping by the end of summer we will have all of them trained and licensed and ready to take on whatever they're willing or whatever we can talk them into. And it's fun to hear all the other administrators talk about the trips. Robin had made the comment that she just never realized transportation was that busy. And she was waving around all the trips, and I said, well, how many are there? And she says, well, as of now, we have 28 field trips and 92 away sporting events for the last 7 weeks of school. And I know we had 4 more trips come in today. So as of now, we have everything filled with drivers. So as long as there's no rain delays and reschedules, we have everything covered, which is great. Anybody have any questions?
I just want to say driving is not for the faint of heart, so we appreciate those people that are stepping up and joining.
Yes, thank you. I do as well.
Thank you.
Rhonda, just a quick question. With all the rain we've had, is our drainage still working good?
It
behind
is.
our instruction?
It is. We no longer have a Lake Whitko. I've been out every couple days with all the rain. Mr. Pavarnik and myself walked through, and it is remaining dry, and it is draining exactly how it's supposed to, and we still have some things that we're going to do to help keep it that way and to eliminate any possibility of floods in the future.
Kudos to you guys. You guys did great organizing that drainage project and
Thank
grading. Maybe we can officially name this Lake Whitko.
That would be
We
awesome.
got an actual lake back here.
I would love to
It's
get
actual
that
lake.
cleaned out as well.
We're working on that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rhonda. And finally, Director of Special Services, Carrie Walmer.
This month has consisted of the approval process for a lot of our grants and final reimbursement reports. So we just submitted Part B 611, 619 and ARP 611, 619, which I know is kind of foreign to a lot of you, but those are our special education grants. All reports have been verified and approved by the DOE, so that's good. We also got notification that our Title IV budget application was approved. This is a $22,000 grant that we use for alternative programs. Our 2025 Part B data verification report was submitted. This report consists of 17 different categories that contribute to our special ed funding. Just to end, I do want to acknowledge Sally Gilbert, who is our SPED department assistant. She completed 340 manual data entries when the Power School server went down to make sure that we could have our April 1 special ed report submitted to the state. So again, thank you to Sally. Any questions?
No, thank you. Yep. We'll move on to our superintendent update. Mr. Pavarnik.
Thank you. I'm proud to announce AG Plus and Land O'Lakes donated $1,250 for youth and ag programming, and Kosciuszko Community Foundation awarded our FFA chapter a $500 support grant.
That's great. Thank you. We're going to move on to public comments on agenda items. Attendees must register their intention to participate in the public portion of the meeting upon their arrival at the meeting. Public comments are limited to items on the agenda. Participants must be recognized by the presiding officer and will be requested to preference their comments by an announcement of their name and group affiliation. Each statement made by a participant shall be limited to 3 minutes in duration. The presiding officer may request the assistance of law enforcement officers in the removal of a person when that person's behavior interferes with the orderly conduct of the meeting. They may also call for a recess or an adjournment to another time when the lack of public decorum so interferes with the orderly conduct of the meeting as to warrant such actions. So we have a couple of comments tonight. First up is Joyce Kripe about Power School. And Joyce, do you have any additional questions since we covered that?
Actually, I do have a couple.
Okay.
Maybe I have one.
Good evening. I am Joyce Kripe, and I think my biggest question now that we've received this phenomenal news that I'm sure all the students and parents are very grateful for is, have you considered using the cloud in the future for PowerSchool instead of just using the backup that Mr. Klein spoke about?
That'll be a discussion when I have with Winona IT, and we have had that discussion, and most likely we'll be going that route, but I want to have them do their audit first.
All right. That's really all I have. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. We have Michael Love talking about accounts payable and receivable, which that is part of our consent agenda.
I think my answer might actually be, my question and answer might actually be answered by another person. Can you come back to me at the end to make sure or not?
This is our time right now to speak, so if you want to have it, if you want to speak, otherwise we can speak to you after the meeting. Okay. All right, and then we do have a couple of people that have requested to speak about the agenda. I'm not sure what that is pertaining to, whether that's something that we discussed at the work session the other day, which we have already made known that we're going to talk about that as a board, and that will be on the agenda for the May work session. So since the agenda itself is not on the agenda to talk about tonight, we're not going to discuss that. And that is all I have for community public comments. We're going to move on to business reports and consent agenda. The board has received this information and has had time to review it. And so with that being said, I would accept a motion to approve the business reports and consent agenda as presented.
I move we accept the business reports and consent agenda as presented.
I second it.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we accept the business reports and consent agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of accepting the business reports and consent agenda as presented, please signify by saying aye and raise your right hand. Aye. Those opposed? The motion passes. We have one item in new business tonight, and that would be approval of the field trips. Mrs. Snavely referred to some of those already. So I would take a motion to approve the field trips as presented, please.
I move that we accept the field trips as presented.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the field trips as presented. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye and raise your right hand. Aye. Those opposed? The motion passes. We have no old business at this time. Mr. Pavarnik, do you have any miscellaneous administrative items for us tonight?
I do not.
Okay. And 10.0 is miscellaneous school board items. The school board will meet in a work session on Wednesday, May 8th at 4 o'clock in the South Willie Elementary School cafeteria. The next regular school board meeting is Monday, May 20th at 6:30 right here in this room. Is there anything else that the board would like to present tonight? All right. I would entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting, please.
I move we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adjourn tonight's meeting. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed? Motion passes. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for being here.